customer that we're going to shut the water off. We're going to observe the backflow device, make sure it's installed properly, it's off the ground at a certain height. We're also going to identify the backflow itself by looking at the manufacturer, model number, size, and serial number. And we're going to inspect the area, see if any leaks or anything else while they're out there. So today we got Febco. Model's an 825 wide. Size is 3/4. Serial number is J022994. Name and date on there. Okay, first part of the procedure there is going to go ahead and flush out the test cocks. Do that by opening number 4 and leaving it open. And we go in order, 3, 2, 1, and back, 1, 2, 3. We leave everything running here. Open number 3, leave it running. Open number 2, leave it running. And number 1, flush that out. Back to number 2 and close. 3 and close, and close number 4. Okay, we're ready to hook up our hoses. First hose we hook up is the low side. Test cock number 3. And we hook that up to the low side of the gauge. Next hose is the high side hose. Attach the high side hose to the number 2 test cock. To the high side of the gauge. Every time we hook up hoses, we want to bleed out the air out of the hoses. First one we do is the low side. Open the test cock number 3. Open up the low side bleed valve on the top of the gauge. Leave it open. Open up test cock number 2 on the high side. Bleed the air out by opening the high side bleed valve on the gauge. And at this point, we're going to shut off the customer to the water to the customer. And we close the high side first, then we close the low side second. We take our apparent reading on the gauge. The apparent reading is 7.6. We'll write that down on our test form under the comments area. ABPA is 7.6. Now we're ready to do our first test, which is the relief valve opening point. We're going to open up the high side control needle valve 1 full turn. We're going to place our hand under the relief valve, and we're going to turn the low side no more than a 1/4 turn until we feel water drop on our hand, and take the reading. Just at 2. So close that low side. Relief valve opened at 2.0. Right on the border. Right on. Okay. That's done. Now we hook up our bypass hose to test cock number 4 loosely. Leave that loose. Hook up the other side to our gauge. We've hooked up a hose, so we need to flush the water and air out of that. We do that by opening the bypass control valve. Once the air is out, we close the control valve and secure the hose. Next thing we do is to reestablish the pressure on the gauge by opening the low side bleed and closing the low side. To open test sock number 4. And we open the control valve bypass. We observe the reading on the gauge to make sure it is stopped or it stays steady, to make sure that check valve number 2 is closed tight. Okay, on to the third test. Make the reading of the first check. We do that by reestablishing the zone and the pressure by opening and bleeding the low side and closing and taking a reading on our gauge. This one settled at 7.7. Okay, we're all finished with the test. Close off our test cocks. Remove our equipment. And we reestablish water to our customer. Close the needles on your gauge. And disconnect the hoses and you are all done.